I just heard a great joke, but I ain't going to tell it. It's not fit for human consumption. That's why I like it, I think. All right. Speed of the planets. Yes, they do travel in different speeds, and this is something you really need to know. If you're going to do charts and you're going to look at people's situations, you need to know how fast planets are chasing after one another. Because sometimes, if you see an aspect, a faster-moving planet might intercept the aspect before the other two can get into it. Let's say, for instance, that Mars ruled the first house, Aries. Very powerful situation. And was looking for a job. Well, the job would be the 10th house, because that's everybody's profession. Not the 6th house, don't even go there. The 10th house job. And that would be, if Aries is rising, that would be Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. So somebody came to you and said, hey, I'm looking for a job. You think I'll get one? And I looked at the chart and I noticed that Mars is 15 degrees in the sign of Aries. And I noticed that Saturn is in Sagittarius, right? It looks like they're going to trine. So if they're going to trine, that means this is good. Because Saturn is, let's say, it's 17 degrees, all right? So we know that they're going to trine. We see that. However, now let's say that the moon is 14 degrees in the sign of Leo, okay? Here we're going to see the moon aspecting Saturn before Mars gets to make that trine to Saturn. Now, if Mars got to trine Saturn, the job would have been his, because it said, am I going to get the job? Yes. Because remember, the houses are the nouns. It's what we want to go after. It's what we're looking at. What department of life are we examining? The signs describe that, so they're an adjective. All right? That's a descriptive situation. And the planets are the verb. They make it happen. Without an aspect in your chart, forget it. It's not going to happen. You need an aspect, because the two planets have to join hands and unite. If they don't unite, you get nothing. So, if Mars wants to try and Saturn to get that 10th house job, and the moon interferes, two things could happen. If it was a translation of light, the moon coming off of Mars in a trine aspect, and then trining also Saturn because it was in a fire sign. Let's say that the moon was in Leo. So it trines, it takes the power of Mars, you see, and it has that Mars enclitic nature. That's a good word, isn't it? Enclitic. Look it up. You'll love it. Anyway, it takes that flavor of Mars, and it will translate its Mars light over to Saturn's light. So that would tell us that Mars didn't get the job, but the moon helped Mars get the job. It translated the light. So here we might say that the querent came in and asked about his job, Mars in the first house. It's going to try and Saturn. It's looking good, but then the moon comes along, hits Mars, and moves it over a little bit, and finally touches on the trine to Saturn before Mars can. The moon then would have translated the light of Mars to Saturn, which would tell me that a third party went to whoever is hiring and said, hey, hire this guy because he's really cool. Because the moon's trining Mars. See, it's telling him he's really cool. This is a good guy to have in the department. You're going to like him. So he's telling the boss, Saturn, this is who you want to hire. So you see how the moon did that? And it could be probably a woman because it's the moon. Moon generally represents a woman in the chart. So sometimes you look at this, you go, wow, look at how that happened. This is called the translation of light. I start out to tell you the speed of the planet. So now this is another aspect. But that was translation of light. Now sometimes if a planet is traveling slow in a chart, if it's traveling real slow, it takes a long time for things to get together. So when you absolutely have to do somebody's chart, you need to look at the speed, the rate of speed that the planet is traveling. Each one. You have to mark this down and take a look at it. A lot of good programs out there that'll do that automatically, just list it all up for you. So you look at the speed, and the slower it is, the longer it takes to get the job done. Now, if it's fast, you can see that the job will get done fast, because whatever it is that the planet is aspecting, it's promising. That speed of the planet, if it's fast, will hurry it up. If it's slow, it won't. It'll take its little time. It's like driving a car. The slower you go, the longer it takes to get there. So there's a couple of little points for you to recognize when you're looking at a chart. Pretty neat.